Good morning, everyone. This is Monty Purify coming at you live from Austin, Texas. This is the Morning Bagel. We should have a little morning left here in Central Texas. It's only 11:10, so excited to be here and to bring you some good news. And went out this morning to play golf. Got rained out. Didn't happen. Didn't even get to the tee box. It just wasn't going to break. So I'm back. But while I was coming back to the studio, I had a thought. And the thought is centered around values and rules. And I had an amazing conversation with my beautiful fiance, Leticia Nunez, who's actually sitting off to my left, actually this way. Say hello, Leticia.
Hi.
She says hi. And she's going to be creating conversation, and we're going to have a conversation with her. But the conversation that we had was really centered around rules and values. And I believe that's what we need here in America. We need to understand rules and values. And my suggestion, recommendation is to establish a universal value or core values, or universal core values, because rules are predicated off of value or a value system. And if you don't know the value system, then it makes it very difficult to play by the rules, to understand the rules of engagement. Rules could be laws. An example would be, here's a good example. So you have a set of rules at a business where, you know, your staff has to be at their desk by 9, from 9 to 12, and then from 1 to 5. And then you have an employee who is a single father who has to pick up his son at 3 o'clock. Well, technically, by the rules, that man doesn't have a job because he is in violation of the rules. But when we add back in values, you know, that gives flexibility to rules. But if we don't have, my opinion, if we don't have a universal value or core value system or core values, it makes it very difficult for everyone to understand and respect the rules that we have, as well as abiding by the rules, as well as those that must enforce or impose the rules, whether it's at work or whether it's in society, or whether it's at work or whether it's just in the general public as well, participating as a citizen. Letty, what do you think? She's slow to speak, but when she chimes in, it's deep. She's actually working. She's multitasking at the same time. It's all good. She's kind of shy, but we had an amazing conversation today, and I wanted you to share. I wanted you to kind of dig in and kind of ask me some questions as well regarding what we talked about this morning. It was really a good conversation about rules and values. What were your thoughts?
So the idea about rules is if you don't know the rules, then you don't know how to play the game. So the first issue that comes up would be that you need the playbook. You need to know what rules you have to follow.
So if you don't know the rules, so if I understand you correctly, if you don't know the rules, you can't play the game. And then you said something about the playbook. Share a little bit more about the playbook. Give me a little bit more knowledge behind the playbook.
So the playbook would be whatever rules have been established, for example, in this country, that perhaps minorities are not aware of.
Okay.
And we're being affected by it because we're just not educated.
Gotcha. So the playbook is something, and again, this is the conversation again, folks. that America, that we are trying to create here at the Morning Bagel, that America wants to have right now. And when it comes to minorities, when it comes to those that don't understand the rules, we want to take a look at the value system. And values could be or can be, and this is open for discussion. This is not what is set in stone. We believe that here at the Morning Bagel, we believe this is what's missing, or it's just fragmented. It's just a lot of different values that only maybe the elite understand and are reluctant to pass down. But we need to open up this dialogue to the values. What do we value? What do you value? And what is a universal value or core values? Here's my opinion. I believe one would be a professional value. In this country, you have to work if you expect to eat. That's just period. And then there would be emotional value. There's a tremendous amount of measurement when it comes to emotional value in regards to each individual, that individual's culture or community, and beyond, as well as state value. That's what packs in, stadiums of 100,000 people to root for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Many of the people that are in there are from families of slave owners and slave families. It's just amazing. But the value, the emotional value of that brand of Alabama, the brand, the state itself is emotional, and it brings people together on one accord. And we can't overlook emotional value emotional value. And then physical value. Physical value has a tremendous amount of weight in America as well. I mean, look at the food and the diet industry. Was it fitness and what am I looking for? Fitness, diet, and fitness, health. Everyone wants to be healthy more so today. No longer are we looking to just take a pill and sit on our couch and get healthy. We're now active. America has always been an active country, a doer, a group of people that do, and that's really all over the world as well. But physical fitness is important as a value system, and these are just proposed. Here's all of them important, but social value. Social value is critical. Everything that we have here in America to this day, everything that we've accomplished to this day is all built on social values. And that is a deep, 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 deep well that we must dive into when it comes to social values. I think family values would certainly fall into social values. That is for sure. Family values would definitely fall right under social values. That's good. And then spiritual values. Enough said. Spiritual values is something that, Letty, you came up with the hashtag tapping in. You got to tap in to your spiritual values. And we all know that, again, America has tremendous spiritual values. Not just America, humanity has spiritual values. And then when you put that under the American umbrella with the melting pot of religion, and it's just amazing how we can come under or be united. And we have to get to that point. But spiritual values have to be addressed so that I'll get to that point, why we have to address that. But spiritual values is important. And then last but not least would be intellectual values. Intellectual values are, I say, the big capstone under intellectual values would be what, Letty? Education, which she's a grad from St. Edward's University right here in Austin, Texas, which is a big deal because you are the first college grad in your family. A Latina from down in the valley, what we call the valley here in Texas, is down near the border, really, and towards South Padre Island. That's what I was looking for. And just amazing, McAllen, Texas, very strong Latino culture down there. But she comes from you come from a very large family of siblings. Was it 10? Nine in the family, and just an amazing story. We'll get into that deeper, but yeah, she went to St. Ed's and gained an education, but it wasn't just the education, it was the experience. And when you add the experience and you couple that with education, new knowledge, constant information, or really, let me ask you this, lady, do you think it was the education or the ability to learn how to learn that you gain most value? Was it just the education, or did you learn how to learn at St. Edward's?
I think more important, it was the exposure to just a different way of living, a different way of social activity.
Okay. So the social activities, a different way of living. Yeah, so that pours into social. So it's all interconnected, you know, the intellectual values, valuing intellectual development of learning will lead to will interconnect with everything. So those were 6 values that I'm proposing. What are the 6 values you might propose? Let me hear from you. This is the Morning Bagel. This is Monty Purify coming at you, and Leticia Nunez, soon to be Purify. Anyway, and real soon. All right, that's coming soon. Everybody just chill out on that, you know. But anyhow, but let me hear from you. What are your 6 values? Post that to Facebook, because that's where you're getting this feed from. But let me hear, what are your 6 values? What do you think your 6 values are? And then, or what do you feel 6 core universal values might be for us to begin to shape a new destiny of unification here in this great country of America? Notice I didn't say United States of America, because we're not quite united yet. That's what we're striving for, but the door of opportunity is here, and it's now to have this conversation. And then but the conversation has to lead to something strategic. It has to lead to something measurable, and values plus rules equal progress or measurement of progress. And that's what we're trying to achieve. That's what we will achieve, but we can only achieve it together. All right, guys, that's all I have for you for today. I'll be checking back in with you soon. Stay tuned for more live posts from the Morning Bagel. Again, Monty Purify, Leticia Nunez, and Christina Zuniga, whom you haven't met yet. She's downstairs, but she's probably one of the most creative, soon-to-be 8th graders that you will ever meet. She is dynamic with her writing and her ability to understand and discern what's going on in this world today. All right, and she's a vegan. So anyway, you're going to hear a lot about that. All right, stay tuned, guys. Take care.